información que ha proporcionado. Doy ahora la palabra a la señora Catherine Russell.
Good morning. Thank you, Ambassador Alfaro of Panama and Ambassador Shea of the United States for co-convening this briefing and for the opportunity to address this council today on the dire crisis facing children in Haiti. Thank you very much to the Secretary General for his deep and ongoing commitment to the protection of children affected by armed conflict. And a heartfelt thank you to UNICEF National Ambassador Jean Roosevelt for his passion, art, and dedication to the protection of children from violence. Excellencies, since I last briefed you on the situation in Haiti nearly a year ago, the humanitarian crisis has only worsened, spreading beyond the capital, Port-au-Prince, to other parts of the country. Haiti's children continue to endure unimaginable suffering amidst the brutal armed violence. Indeed, one of the defining features of this crisis is the rampant rights violations against children. As the Secretary General said, in 2024, Haiti ranked among the 5 countries on the Children in Armed Conflict agenda with the highest number of verified grave violations against children anywhere in the world. Last year, the UN in Haiti verified more than 2,000 grave violations against children. This marked a nearly 500% increase over the previous year. The increased rate of violations has continued into 2025. In the first quarter of this year, there has been a 25% increase compared to the first quarter of 2024. Most alarming is the almost 700% rise in cases of recruitment of children, alongside a 54% increase in killing and maiming. Keep in mind that these are just the cases we have been able to verify. We believe the true figures are likely much higher. Children are being killed and maimed during violence between armed actors, particularly in dense populated areas of Port-au-Prince. We have also verified cases of children being summarily executed. The entry of new armed actors and more sophisticated technology, including explosive weapons, into the fighting is putting children's safety at even greater risk. The recruitment and use of children by armed groups is rampant. We estimate that children currently account for a staggering 50% of armed group members active today. Children are being forced into combat roles, directly participating in armed confrontations. Others are being used as couriers, as lookouts, as porters to carry weapons, or are exploited for domestic labor, roles that expose them to grave and lasting physical and psychological harm. As I saw when I visited Haiti, children are being subjected to appalling sexual violence that has reached unprecedented levels. In 2024, the number of reported cases of sexual violence against children rose by 1,000% over the previous year. And as you will have seen in the Secretary General's annual report on children in armed conflict, the UN found that a quarter of all cases of verified sexual violence were gang rapes. This constitutes a widespread campaign to terrorize communities and inflict lasting physical and psychological trauma on children, especially girls, who account for most of the victims and survivors. Excellencies, in the face of this devastating situation for children, UNICEF and our partners are being denied access to provide the humanitarian response that is so desperately needed, which, I would add, is also a grave violation of children's rights. In 2023, the UN verified 5 incidents of denial of humanitarian access, while last year that number skyrocketed to 728. In denying access, armed groups are undermining the ability of humanitarian actors to reach 1.6 million children and women in areas under their control. This is also impeding our efforts to monitor and report on the grave violations committed. Last month, 6 UNICEF staff members were taken hostage by an armed group while carrying out a life-saving humanitarian mission. Thankfully, they have since been released, but this incident reveals the dangers humanitarian colleagues on the ground are facing. Humanitarian workers are not and must never be targets. Despite these challenges and the insecurity, UNICEF and our partners remain on the ground working to deliver life-saving assistance for those in need. Together with our partners, so far this year, we have treated 21,000 children for severe wasting, provided health care to 117,000 people, and reached 140,000 people with safe water. We continue our efforts to engage and negotiate with armed actors to prevent and end grave rights against children. and we are supporting the authorities to develop a child-sensitive and child-friendly system to respond when violations are reported. Since 2024, the government of Haiti and UNICEF have demobilized and reintegrated over 140 children through the framework of the Protocol for the Handover of Children Associated with Armed Groups. And just last month, the Haitian government, in partnership with UNICEF, officially launched the Prevention and Rehabilitation Program against children and youth recruitment. This 3-year program seeks to protect children from recruitment, exploitation, and violence while offering them reintegration solutions and support. But far more must be done to protect Haiti's children from the scourge of violence that has taken hold in their communities. Today, I ask members of this council to use all available leverage to protect children and to support concrete actions to prevent further violations. I ask you to demand that all armed groups end attacks on schools and hospitals, immediately release children from their ranks, and allow secure, unimpeded access for humanitarian workers to safely reach communities in need. I ask that you appeal to security forces on the ground to prioritize the safety and protection of all children, and to ensure they are treated as children first and foremost, taking every measure to further avoid killing and injuring children, including those who have been recruited. I ask that you support the government of Haiti and its partners to prioritize children's rights across public policies and through investment in social services. This includes education, healthcare, justice, and social protection for children. This also includes reintegration for children currently or previously associated with armed groups, and for children who have been subjected to sexual violence and other grave violations. Lastly, we call on donors to show solidarity with the Haitian people and contribute to funding appeals. The humanitarian needs and response plan to address the needs of nearly 4 million people in Haiti is just 10% funded. Without immediate donor support, our life-saving assistance and protection services for those most in need are at serious risk. Excellencies, grave rights violations against children in Haiti or anywhere in the world cannot be tolerated. Every child deserves a chance to be safe, healthy, and to live in peace. But peace can only be forged and sustained when children are prioritized and protected. UNICEF stands ready to work with this council, with Haitian children and communities, and with every partner dedicated to this cause. We must urgently respond with a shared commitment to finally deliver the promise of a peaceful, prosperous society for all of Haiti's children. Thank you very much.
Agradezco a la señora Russell la información que ha proporcionado. Doy ahora la palabra